I feel pretty helpless. To where I sleep with a gun under my pillow, a loaded gun ready to go under my pillow. My mom has one loaded right by the front door.
So you said that your background is Polish.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about it? How long your ancestors have been living here? Or
Actually, my grandparents came from, they survived Auschwitz, the concentration camps. I don't know if you've heard of Schindler's List, the
of
movie.
course, I was in Auschwitz too.
Yeah, so okay.
We went to visit with school.
Okay, so basically, my grandpa was filmed by Steven Spielberg, just like this, basically. And he was one of the people that he kind of documented and did interviews with, and based all the interviews and everything off of how he made the movie. So my grandpa had a little bit of influence. I'm not sure how much or what it was, but they barely escaped the Nazis and the concentration camps and all that stuff, and watched their relatives get shot and killed, and right in front of them and all that. Like, has some crazy stories about that in its own. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. But
so right after World War II, they moved to US?
Basically, my mom was even still born over there. My mom was born in Germany.
Oh.
And so my mom was like, we have a picture of my mom coming with my grandparents to the States. God, I can't remember the year, but my mom was like 4 years old or like 3 years old. She was just like a little girl holding her parents' hands, coming to America.
So it was like in 50s maybe or
something like that. Yeah,
okay.
It was when my mom came. So she wasn't even. I'm first generation American, so she wasn't even born here. And
can you speak Polish?
No, I can say only a couple words. Like just the ones that stuck with me, like saying I love you to like my mom when I was little and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I wish I could. I was being taught it as I was getting older, but the way I didn't unfortunately grow up in such a nice, perfect household home to where I didn't have mom and dad and the whole perfect. My parents separated when I was like 10 years old, and like I got split up and sent with my dad, and then when I was about 16 or 17, something like that, I went with my mom, and my dad went by himself, and then so I was kind of like thrown around, and it was kind of not the nicest childhood.
So based out of the stories that you told us, do you have any friends or people you know that end up bad, that end up in the jail?
Yeah, I have, that end up both sides, drugs, bad, and dead. And I have a couple friends that have OD'd. I have a couple close friends that went to jail. One for drugs and one not for drugs, but the one not for drugs, that one, you can't really have too much sympathy for the person. That everyone, like I said, makes decisions of their own.
So what was the thing?
Robbery. I mean, try to rob someone. And
like armed robbery?
Yeah, with a knife, not a gun or anything. But yeah, regardless, it's still not. Yeah, it doesn't justify. Regardless, if he had a spoon, he's still not doing. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. And then, like I said, as far as the drugs, and then I've had family also go to jail for just domestic violence, just disturbing the peace, drunk in public, all just petty stuff.
That's more like misdemeanors, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's nothing too
It's
too
not
crazy.
a felony. Yeah. Okay. How about the people that you knew and now they're dead?
Yeah, that's a very big wake-up call, as far as just a reminder not to go. That I escaped. I've barely escaped, by myself, myself already, to where I couldn't imagine to go back on any kind of, or doing any kind of drugs. It's fucking scares the shit out of me. Like, just how powerful they are, and they grab a hold of you, and you literally aren't yourself, and you can't control it. Like, you make decisions you wouldn't normally make. You do things you wouldn't normally do. People that you wouldn't normally do it to, family you steal from. I mean, it gets low. Like you get pretty low to where drugs are the only thing that matters to you.
What are the most popular drugs in LA?
Probably meth, and probably both ends of the spectrum, either meth or heroin. It's like either
the price.
it's cheap and it fucks you up for a long time.
So I guess rich people heroin and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. It's a lot of the street people keeps them going and rummaging through trash and finding whatever they do. I mean, the meth is just like fuel. You know, you don't need to eat. It's fucking. You know,
so I guess the heroin comes from the other side of the border, but how about the meth? Is it made local? Both?
No, both of them. The meth is a little bit more easy to make locally, as far as how even some of these bums, even people on the street, are probably doing little shake and bake things in their tents or whatever it is. You know, they're cooking the shit right on the street. I'm sure now at this point, if they're shooting up on the street and everything, I mean, they're making it there too. So
yeah,
I mean, but.
So how strong is the presence of the law enforcement in the hood? Like, do they enforce something, or they are just there to be there?
It's gotten to the point to where I'm pretty scared to where even if I were to have a problem now, I feel pretty helpless. To where I sleep with a gun under my pillow, a loaded gun ready to go under my pillow. My mom has one loaded right by the front door. I have a rifle by my door too also, but just right in my disposal just in case anything happens. I mean, that's the way I gotta live to feel comfortable.
Is there such a big price difference of living in the hood compared to living not in the hood that people still live there? Isn't it like that you pay just a couple $100 more bucks and then you are somewhere else?
Yeah, to be honest, it is not that much cheaper to be a little bit more of an, I mean, it's all relative to, the money. It is, it's going to be relative, but if I wanted to save a few dollars, I could move somewhere a little bit more, worse than where I'm at now. But I wouldn't want to go down from where I'm at now. It's already bad enough. I feel blessed that we actually own the home where it's at.
Okay. So you live in
that was my grandparents' house that they ended up getting.
Okay.
And
you get it after.
And then my mom got it after her, after them. My grandparents came across with like barely any money, and my grandpa worked for the RTD before it was before it was Metro. It was RTD back in the day. It's what they used to call it. And my grandpa worked for them for like 20 years or something like that. He worked driving buses, and he had he had made decent money, but I mean he worked his butt off. His whole coming over here to work for whatever he could get, and he acquired that home right off the bat, as far as making payments or however it worked, and then my mom helped him finish it off and paid it off, and
now it's yours.
And now it's ours, yeah.
So based on the life that you experienced, do you think that it sure had to change you, right? So now when you go on the street, you see something going on, you are like more looking ahead if there's something going on. People who never experienced this kind of stuff, they would just walk there, they wouldn't care, right?
They're oblivious to it because they have no idea like what the real bad or good. It could be something good that they're getting themselves into, which it's kind of rare. But as far as the bad, I mean, yeah, you don't know unless you've experienced it or you have family or friends or someone that can give you the heads up. I mean, you literally could, when they say wrong place at the wrong time, I mean that gives it a whole new definition. I mean, you literally could lose your life by just saying to somebody, answering their question. Literally, that's all I.
Because the thing I'm dealing almost on every time when I upload some video is when I upload something, let's say from South Central or Compton or North Hollywood or something, and people will say, "Oh, but it looks nice there. It's nice. It's calm. It's nice, quiet." But I'm trying to tell them that it purposely looks like that because you cannot see what's really in there, right?
It does. It 100% does, and also it's a lot of the cities, the money where they get from however it is that they generate the money for the cities, they do put it back into putting nice palm trees in or whatever they can do so they can
fake it,
and they can add value to the area or to make you pay more money for rent because look, you got 2 palm trees in your yard. But in all reality, I mean, you're still living amongst maybe not down in it, but you're still, I mean, you don't have to go far. It's less than a mile you have to go to where, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking by myself at night a mile away from here. Anywhere, and that's me, and I know what's out there, and for you to not be worried about it, there's something wrong. I mean, there's not something wrong, but there's definitely something to be learned there as far as, you know what I mean? If you're someone not from here and you're coming here to visit, it's not all just, looking at flowers, walking around, and look, it looks nice here. Look at this, you know.
Yeah, because people are always like, oh, you are like just over exaggerating it, but I'm like, no, like
No.
you don't know.
If you were to look at my street that I live on, it's all shaded. It's the only one out of the 4 or 5 streets that are next to each other that run alongside that has like the trees on the sidewalk all form like a like, you know, it's like a tunnel driving down of shade. It looks all nice and like beautiful. And again, I wouldn't even, I second guess walking down my own street at nighttime. Like in the daytime, just because I've been there for so many years, I know all my neighbors and I know everything pretty well, and I kind of know what to look for. And I think I feel like I'm unfortunately seasoned to it, which is not good, but it's kind of like, you know, you've been abused by something so long that it doesn't hurt very much anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I've seen so much violence and so much negativity and drug use and all this crap to where it's like, well, I'm walking around the block, you know, it's not that crazy. I already know what's going to be around the block. I'm going to see the 2 bums that live on this, you know, in the carts on the corner, and that's it. That's all I'm going to encounter. It's not going to be anything crazy. But yeah, as far as for everything, looks can be deceiving for sure. I mean, you look on the craziest street in Compton, the ones that, you know, you can lose your life making the wrong turn down, and I mean, those look like the most prettiest suburbs with the nice, you know, fences and this and that, and it just yeah, you definitely don't want to go down the wrong street at the wrong time. Or I literally don't even, my own neighborhood, when it's dark, I'd go out of my way to stay on the main street to go around all the way so I don't have to cut through I don't even go through my own neighborhood when it's dark. That's sad, but I just literally don't. That's because of what happened.
Yeah, because you knew, experienced talk.
Why take another chance, or why even, let's see. Like, I'm not about let's see no more in my lifetime. I'm ready just to take the safe road, whatever route that is.
Even if it's longer.
Even if it's longer, oh well, it's an extra little
hopefully
bit.
it's gonna be many longer roads for you.
Yeah, I'm hoping too.
I thank you for this interview, because this you just confirmed so many things we've been telling people for so long, and it's nice to hear it from somebody who kind of have the European experience as well, you know, European mindset a little bit.
No, I'm Polish as fuck. Don't get it twisted. I have family out there that I'm gonna go visit eventually and spend like a month out there with them and shit. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much.
For sure. It was a pleasure. Definitely.
Jak jste mohli vidět v těchto videích, život vám tady dokáže přichystat různá překvapení. A je tady i spousta dalších lidí, kteří by vám rádi pověděli i s vámi.